Today we're going to be looking at a Roman Props Mk1. This is installed with CFX with a Shtok chassis. It has a Rudy Pando crystal chamber, and we'll go over the rest in just a minute. Now, just a few things I wanted to go over. I went ahead and I dremeled in here to get some better sound venting, since there is a 28mm speaker underneath the clamp card, or the clamp. I'm sorry. That way it could sound better. Now, not to say that this sounds bad. The hilt actually sounds really, really good. I don't have the volume turned up all the way because it's really loud. So just keep that in mind. That it is a loud saber. Now, I did shave down the transistors and so that they're not like poking out or anything like that. Now, to get to the chassis or to the electronics, all you would have to do is unscrew the pommel. Now, you can actually pop this pommel cap off, but with these older style pommels, I find it really difficult to kind of stick my finger underneath and try to pop it open. So it's actually a lot faster or easier, at least for me, to just unscrew the pommel and then flip the kill switch on. Now, I'm not going to flip it on because it's already on, but there's your kill switch. You got easy access to your micro USB port and your SD card. You got your 1.3mm recharge port. Now, you can remove the booster section here and see the chassis if you really want to, but you never have to go this far. That's far as like removing the booster section goes, and you'll see like the wires underneath, and here you see like the board covers or the wire covers. Now, these can actually be removed if you just kind of gently lift them. They'll just come off just like that, and you'll be able to see the board in there along with all the wires and stuff. Now, to pop it back in, you just gently do one side at a time. There's one, and then there's the other. Gently but firmly, if that makes sense. So that's pretty much the chassis as it is. There's not really much to it because everything else is kind of up here. So let's go ahead and screw this back on. Now, of course, I also do have a accent pixel sitting underneath the crystal chamber. Let's see here, just to light it up. Actually, let me make sure it's on because I'm not even entirely sure. Yeah, okay, it was on. So I did want to go over the switch section a little bit. Now, you can actually remove the switch section, and the whole clamp, by removing the bubble card, and then the switch holders are connected with like a 3-pin system into the chassis. So you can essentially remove it if you really wanted to. Now, there's never any reason that you'll have to ever do that. I just want to let the customer know that if you really want to do that, be very mindful, or really think about like if you want to do it for whatever reason, because putting this switch holder or lining it up is really a pain in the ass. And the pins are very thin, so they're susceptible to breaking or snapping, and if they do, the switches won't work, or at least maybe not how they should. And another thing is, when everything is installed, these switches, and I don't know if this was just like with my case, maybe there was like a print inconsistency or something like that, but in my case, the switches that are suggested in the manual, they sat very low, so I kind of had to wedge them up because of that reason. So you'll see me kind of like finicking around every now and then. It's because I have to line this up very perfectly because of that reason. It has to be lined up very perfectly to the point where both ends are, oh, sorry about that. Both ends are basically flushed with the clamp card. And of course, that's how it's supposed to be, right? But it kind of has to be like that so that they can properly be clicked and pressed on, or whatever you want to call it. So let's go ahead and turn on the hilt, and then I'll show you guys the crystal chamber. So you got some CC Sabers NeoPixel connectors in there, and to see the crystal chamber, which is what everyone wants to see, you go ahead and lift up the lever. Sorry about that. Twist it to the left, and then just bring it up. Just like that. Now it's a very, very beautiful crystal chamber. The crystal in there looks super sick, and you got the Shtok crystal chamber upgrades in there, printed in polished brass, and it just looks super sick. Now it's a little hard to like press the power button in this state because the switch holder is supported by this on the back once it's like, you know, closed out. So when it's like this, it's a little hard to press the power button, but you can still press your auxiliary. Oh, I'm trying to... Okay. One thing I want to mention, guys, actually, before I continue, I don't know if I already mentioned it. It's been a long time since I've done a CFX install. I'm still relearning some of the buttons, and it was quite a journey relearning how to program everything. A lot has changed, so it was something. But as you can see, you know, if I try pressing this down, you know, it's a little bit difficult because the whole switch section kind of comes down with it. So let's go ahead and just close this back up. Now to close it back up, of course, you just go down, twist it to the right, and then clamp this back down. Go ahead and line up the clamp card. Now, you can... There is tracks on every font, and there's about 40 fonts on this saber that are installed. So go ahead and turn off the hilt, and I'll try to turn on one of the tracks. Oh, let me line this up. Oh, I can't line it up right. Okay, here we go. Okay, so to get the track player going, all you gotta do is double tap the power button twice, a quick double tap, and it'll turn on. You'll hear that start playing, and you'll just turn on your hilt, and the track will be playing in the background. Now to turn it off, you'll turn off your hilt, double tap it, and it'll turn off. If you want to turn on the mute function, you know, you don't want any sound at all, you just kind of long press it, or not long press it, but you press it for a second until you hear the first beep, and then you release. Mute. There you go. Mute. Turn it back on, and it's on. It's muted. You just go ahead and turn it back off. Now let's go ahead and insert a blade. Now, to the owner of the hilt, this is a very delicate hilt. You know, it is thin neck, so all thin necks are very fragile. This is not for dueling. Just be very careful with it. The, you know, light to maybe medium swinging at best, because even the blade recess section is a little small, so there's not much to hold on to. So just be very mindful when you do have it on, or the blade on, that it is a display piece. You know, you don't really want to go too hard with this. Now let's go ahead and pop the blade in there. Let's go ahead and do this off camera real quick, or as quickly as I can, not real quick. Now there is one set screw to hold the blade down, and let's see here. All right, so I got the blade secured. There it is. Now there's a little bit of a shadow. You can see it. It's a little more. You can see it a little bit more on the camera, but in person, it's not like that prevalent. So you, but it is also a recessed blade. This is where the NeoPixel strip ends. There's not really much you can do. Like, there's not much of an emitter to cover that or anything like that. So it's just one of the the downsides of also having like a recessed blade. That sometimes that'll happen, but it's a very nice long full blade. For the sake of this video, I'm gonna use my test blade just because where I'm recording this, there's not much room for me to like do anything with this here other than just kind of pan it up and down. But before I do that, I'll go ahead and just put it here on screen, let you guys see that, see how it looks. It looks super sweet. Angle it a little bit. Oh, there we go. Look at that. That is a beautiful, beautiful saber. Honestly, this is probably like my favorite hilt, if not one of my favorite hilts. It's just super cool looking. I don't know, the whole grenade section, the bubble card, like it just looks really good. So let's go ahead and remove this blade, unscrew this here, pop the blade out, put that to the side. Now this is the same test blade that I use for everything. It's not recessed, but with this 7/8 inch holder, it just kind of lines up perfectly in place. Now let's see if I can even tighten this down. All right, there we go. So I got it tightened down. It worked. Now, if you want to change like the color of your blade style for any reason, all you do is you hold the aux button, spectrum, and then you twist to the left or right, as long as you twist it, and you're in spectrum mode. Now, from here at this point, all you really do is you twist your hilt either, you know, clockwise or counterclockwise, and it'll start going through the color profiles that are on here. Now I did get the color profiles from the CFX website, so it's got about 31 or 32 colors on there, and you'll see them all here being displayed. Now this is just a black blade. Essentially it's just off. It's got red, orange, and you'll go through all the colors here until we're back to the one that we were at originally, which is this one. This one, here we go. Now once you're at the color that you want, if you want to switch the blade profile, which is the blade effects, what you do is you'll long press the aux button. Blade profiles. It'll say blade profiles, and from there, same thing. You'll twist to the left or right, and it'll show you the colors, the color profiles. You got your rainbow blade. Now a lot of these, I'm gonna be honest with you, I'm not entirely sure what their names are because I got these from the CFX website as well. So a lot of them are gonna be like waves, erratic waves, some flames, the color spectrum, like running up, power surges, pulsing, flickering. So you'll see them all there. You'll see unstable blade effects like this one. And there's going to be quite a few. So let's go ahead and go back to the one that we were at originally. Let's see here. And it's just a regular blade with light flicker. Does that flicker? No. Oh, actually, I think it might have just been a solid blade right there. All right, that's the one. And once you're there, you'll just press the aux button one more time, and it's locked in. Now, there's over 40 sound fonts here. Some of them are the same sound font, just different variants. Like for example, this Obi one has 4 versions. It's got the Obi 4 Classic, Cantina, Death Star, and Rebels. Now they're all here, and so there's quite a few sound fonts. Now because of that reason, I'm not going to go over all of them. I just want to mainly show you like the blade styles and everything, and like the color profiles. So let's go ahead and turn it off, or turn off the hilt, or not the hilt, I'm sorry, the blade. If I can get this lined up properly. Oh. All right, there we go. Now, to go into the to select which font you want, you'll go ahead and just hold down the aux. Oh, I'm selected the same font. You're gonna hear it beep a few times, and then it's gonna say, and then you're gonna hear the menu prompt to select your the font. Give it a second here. All right, here we go.
Sound bank selection.
All right, so you got your sound bank selection, and you just either press power or aux to just move on to the next font.
Ben Kenobi? Obi-Wan Kenobi. Master Kenobi? I am, and General Kenobi.
Quite a few Obi-Wan Kenobi fonts.
Skywalker. Darth Vader. I suggest you try it again, Luke. What is he? Father's light. I'm Luke Skywalker. Luke Skywalker. Never hear. You scary? Yeah, right. It is obvious that this can't count. I sense Count Dooku.
Don't be afraid. Embrace Skywalker.
I need the Jedi.
Now, I'm sorry about this, like, you know, just cycling through all of them, guys. I just want to show the customer that they're all there.
You're going to ban that poor dude.
Crispity.
Now this is hot racing.
Mario Kart. Dracarys.
My name is Patrick Bateman. Luigi.
Oh, come above. Audio play.
And once we're done with that, you're at the audio player.
SD card USB access. System menu.
And in the system menu, if you go there,
Volume.
you can see the volume. You can long press it to start editing the volume. So I'm not gonna long press it because then I don't want to mess with like the volume settings right now.
Blade power.
Blade power right there. You can just double press it and see what your blade is at. For example, if you had the full blade on, you'll see like it'll be like halfway on if it's like at half power. If it's full power, it'll go all the way up, and so on and so forth. Oh, I actually selected the blade power.
Blade length.
Blade length, again, same thing. You know, blade length, if you have the full blade, you can edit it without having to take off the SD card, and you'll see the blade start scrolling up, and you'll just press it when you're satisfied with the blade length. Now, it's already tuned to your blade, so you won't have to worry about that.
Color profiles.
The color
Previous
profiles,
menu.
and go back to the previous
System
menu.
menu.
Now you're back in the system
Exit
menu.
menu.
It's telling you if you want to exit, and all right, and you went ahead and just long press to exit that menu, and you're back to the previous font that you were on. So you can just go ahead and turn it back on, and that's essentially it. Let's go ahead and get this lined up properly. There we go, and that's essentially it. Now, I would turn this off and put the hilt down at this point, but because there is a Rudy Pando crystal chamber, we're going to go ahead and end it off like that. Let me just unscrew the blade first. It is a very small retention screw, so also just be aware that it's very brittle. Take off that, remove the blade adapter, and we'll pop this beauty open and leave it there for y'all to enjoy. If my camera would focus. Focus. There we go. See that? So, thank you guys so much for watching. I know this was a little bit more of a longer one, but there's just a lot of things that you got to go over with this hilt. If you stuck around this far, you're a real one. Thank you. And I hope y'all enjoyed. I'll see y'all in the next one. Thank you.